Okay, one of the biggest reasons why people fail in their industry is because they say they don't see enough people. They don't have enough people to see. Well, I would argue you have plenty of people to see. You just don't know what to say to 99% of them. And what we do is we try to teach how to engage in conversation. I'm going to give you an example. I ask a lot of people who has an easy ability to get a referral. And some people will raise their hand, and others just they don't get the good referrals. They get the dead brother-in-law, the mother-in-law they hate. And the reason why we don't get good referrals is, now listen to the scenario. You're asking your brand new client who just found you to refer you to some of their friends. When we ask, what do you do for a living? You can't even quantify what you do. And I'm supposed to take you who don't know what you do or why you do it to my friends. So the people that understand why they're in this business, if I could be known as a problem solver and not an insurance agent, if I could help you identify the problem you didn't know you had, bring it to light, and offer a solution to you, then not only will you become a client, you'll become an advocate, because I allowed you at your level of progress to move at your pace and solve your problem. I look at it this way. I'm nothing more than the rails on a bowling alley. So when you take little kids to the bowling alley, they always are throwing gutter balls. So they said, let's put rails up now to keep the little ones from throwing gutter balls and playing bowling and not even score the game. So think of me as the rail. All I want to do is keep you from making a fatal mistake. You're going to have to pick up the ball. You're going to have to throw it. You're going to have to make an effort to get to the pins. I'm just going to keep you from making a bad mistake. But when I cannot quantify why I'm in this business and word it in such a way that it benefits you more than it benefits me, then I will have a very, very struggling career. But when I can lead with what I do, why I do it, what I believe, and the benefits that those people engage with me, they enjoy, now I'm just a problem solver. I'm just the person who's licensed by the federal government and the state to allow you to do what you want to do. There's no selling involved. And one of the most powerful comments that Simon Sinek made in his 18-minute conversation, and I will share this with your group, as a salesman, your job is not to go out and find people who need to buy your stuff. Your job is to simply go out and find people who believe as you do. And if you look at it this way, if you look at, I'm putting my arm around my client because we are going to help achieve something that this person never thought possible. There's no selling. I'm not against what he's doing. I've got my arm around him and we are walking in the same direction. It's when we get on the phone, we believe that there's you and there's me and we're not on the same page, and I've got to give you features and benefits and features for you to be able to do this. No, you can't sell big premiums over the phone talking features and benefits. But I sure as heck can put you in a position where you want to hear the rest of the story because of problems that you have inherent with your current plan that you don't even know you have. And when I can help you identify the implication of what you're already doing financially, then and only then can I offer a solution. If I lead with a solution and you don't identify the problem, I'm selling. I quit selling 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I now help you understand, for example, if you have an IRA, 401k, 403b, 457, Simple SEP, SARSEP, or pension, when you retire, you're paid sixth. Sixth. Now, if that doesn't bother you, it won't bother me, and I got to go find someone who believes as I do. I want to be paid first. But if you finally realize that what you're building isn't going to happen because we're not required by law to finish the rest of the story, then I can offer a different slant. That's when I become a person of interest because I talk about stuff financial advisors don't talk about. Some aren't allowed to talk about it. And Jeff, that to me is the most critical part of why I'm in this business. Mass Mutual won't let their agents talk about taxes unless they're a CPA. I gave up my 42-year registration as a stockbroker and a registered rep because I wasn't going to be allowed to talk about taxes. And I will talk about taxes. You're building an account, you don't know what you owe. Now, if that's dumb, I agree. Let's talk about that. But I first have to get the people to understand where they are isn't going to produce what they're wanting. And I'll be glad to show you what you're doing isn't going to provide you with what you're looking for, especially when you've got the government the way that it is, and anyone making more than $147,000 is in the top 10% wage earner, and you have a bullseye on your back. And everybody in your audience is going to want to make more than $147,000. They're the problem. According to the government, that group is the problem. And I'm here to tell you, there's rules of the game that you could employ that could put you paid first, and you don't even have to file a tax return if you understood how wealth works.
Awesome, Tom. Well, that's powerful. And that's what you're going to touch on at the mastermind, and really becoming a person of interest first, right? How to not sell and be that person that, you put your arm around and walk you down that path. That's the number one thing that you have to learn first. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what you're going to talk about, as well as understanding, like you said, the topic of your presentation is understanding how wealth works. Is that right?
Correct.
Perfect.
Correct.
Well, Tom, we're going to see you here in a week or two. And if anybody has any questions for Tom, when you see him at the mastermind, pull him aside, talk to him. He'll be there. He'll be at the event, and ask him questions, because what you just told me, you have somebody that's generating leads, spending about $300 a day, selling over Zoom, and writing average premiums of about $80,000, right?
Yes.
What did that person do in April? How much premium?
2.3 million.
Yeah, incredible, right? All over Zoom. But Tom has laid the path, and he's going to talk about the beginning of that path, becoming that person of interest, and understanding how wealth works, and the limits that people have to play by, which there's strategies here.
I love the adage that if you'll know what the rules of the game are, you can play it better.
Yep.
And I firmly believe a well-educated taxpayer will pay less income taxes over their lifetime.
Awesome. Well, Tom, see you in a couple of weeks. I appreciate your insight here. Can't wait to hear more from you.
You bet.